to make America great again. So 3 years ago, I traveled to South Dakota to deliver a very historic address. It turned out people love that speech. They always say, oh, that was the best one. You know what? I think that beautiful facade. Is there a better place in the world to make a speech, Christy? I don't think so. Even though you do have the lunatics that would like to chop it up and knock it down. That's not happening. I wouldn't want to be them. Come to South Dakota. Let's do a little number. That is an incredible place. And it's some of the most beautiful pictures I've ever had taken of my family and all of us together. We had a tremendous crowd and incredible. Then we opened it up for the fireworks, remember? And for a few years you had the fireworks. And then the Democrats closed it down for the fireworks. I said, why would they do that? Well, how beautiful was that? But think of it. And they closed it down. They were worried about fire. But I said, it's all stone and rock. It's hard for rock to catch on fire. No, they just didn't want to do it, but Mount Rushmore is a very, very special place, incredible place. I stood before you at this majestic period of time and a majestic monument itself and fiercely defended our great American heroes from the Marxist and communist maniacs who were trying to blast them. They would have blasted that incredible work right off the face of that very beautiful mountain. Yet today, under Joe Biden, the Marxists, fascists, and communists are not just tearing down statues. They're tearing down our economy. They're dismantling our borders. They're destroying our laws. They're looting our middle class, mutilating our children. They're mutilating our children. Who would imagine that somebody would say that, and it's true. Desecrating our Constitution and perverting our military. Our military is becoming woke. We defeated ISIS, and now it's becoming woke. Our White House is just a place that's not recognizable, and our highly weaponized Department of Injustice, it's weaponized like never before. Nobody's ever seen anything like this. Under Crooked Joe, I took the word out. I was Crooked Hillary, but now I've given her a different name because I don't like having the same name. We have enough words we don't have to do, so I call her Beautiful Hillary. Beautiful. That was a good day a few months ago, but when he did the indictment thing, it was him. This is not an indictment. This is a Biden indictment. There's a big, there's like, Trump's under indictment. No, this is a campaign thing that they're doing. But under Crooked Joe, I just thought it was such an appropriate name. All you have to do is take a little look at what's going on. Millions and millions of dollars have been stolen. But our country is being destroyed under this man. But tonight I repeat to you what I said 3 years ago in the shadow of Mount Rushmore. The American people are strong, and we are proud, and we will not allow our country and all of its values, its incredible history and culture to be taken from us. They're trying to take it from us. You see it every day. You see what's going on with your vote in this election. Joe Biden's banana republic. We have turned into a banana republic. We have no borders. We have dishonest elections. We have things going on today. I mean, who wants to have millions of people like an invasion pouring into our country? We have no idea where they come from. They come from jails, and they come from places that you don't want to know about. And they're all over our cities, and they're all over our states. But with your vote in this election, Joe Biden's country, for a short period of time, hopefully just a short period of time, it ends on November 5th, 2024. We have to take care. We have to take our country back. We have to take our country back. America will be saved, and the great nation of Washington, Jefferson, Lincoln, and Roosevelt, they don't want to mention those names, It'll be restored. We will restore our nation. It's never been this low. It's never been this low. If you took the 5 worst presidents in the history of the United States and added them up, they would not have done near the destruction to our country as Joe Biden and the Biden administration have done in a few short years. Nobody can imagine. Nobody can imagine. And no damage has been worse than the disaster known as Bidenomics. He was given that term as a negative. And he liked the way it sounded, so he tried to turn it because they're all about disinformation and misinformation. One thing with Christy, she tells it like it is. It's right down. There's no disinformation. Sometimes you may be better off doing it that way. It's easier, isn't it, than having to really produce. But they're a party of disinformation. And so he tried to turn Bidenomics into a good thing. It's not a good thing. It's a real bad thing. It was meant very bad, but he liked the sound of the name. He doesn't know too much about what's going on anymore, but he thought it was. Since Joe Biden took office, cumulative inflation has reached almost 20%. Think of that. Think of it. Over a 2.5-year period, now we're getting up. Can you imagine? Just a little more than a year, and we can rid ourselves of what's happened to this country. We can bring our country back. And the dollar has lost more than 20% of its value in just 3 years' time. Think of it. It's not even possible. It never happened before. These are records we're talking about. All records, all very negative records. Joe Biden has blown through $11.5 trillion in wasteful spending that should have never happened, equivalent to $88,000 taken away from every family in America. $88,000 from every family. Under Biden, the budget deficit is exploding and set to more than double this year alone. We were doing something with oil and energy and making a lot of money. We were going to make so much money. We were going to pay off our debt. We were going to lower taxes still further. Manufacturing has contracted. Now 10 months in a row, and monthly job reports have been revised downward every single month of 2023. Every single month they've gone down. The fact is we're probably heading into a Great Depression, something I've never said before publicly. I'm saying it in your state. I hate to say that this is the state I have to say it, but I don't believe I've ever said that before. It's a hell of a statement to make, and I hate to make it. The only question is whether or not it'll be during the remaining months of the Biden administration. If it's going to happen, let it happen then. If it's going to happen, let it be during Joe, and we'll come in and we'll straighten this sucker out. I'd rather have it. Or will the next president have to bear the brunt of what Biden has done to our country? He's done such damage to our country. And I don't want to be the next Herbert Hoover. You know who Herbert Hoover was, right? The Great Depression. He was the president during the beginning of the Great Depression. But I won't let that happen. I will never let that happen. That I can tell you. During Biden's first 30 months in office, just 2.1 million new jobs have been created nationwide. Now, they have a different wrinkle on it. And the wrinkle is so off that even the fake news back there said that he can't get away with that. No, he makes up these stories, you know, like there's a picture of a fighter jet. I used to be a fighter jet pilot. Then there's a picture of a truck. I used to drive a truck. And then there's a picture. He does everything. This guy. The worst is, did you ever see his golf swing? He said he's a 6 handicap. 6 handicap's a good golfer. You know when he's 6 handicaps, that's a good golfer. This guy can't hit a ball to Christie. He's a 6 handicap. I think that's the greatest lie of all, if you want to know the truth. By contrast, during the first 30 months of President Trump, we created 4.9 million new jobs, shattering all predictions and projections. Nobody's ever seen anything like that. It's the greatest economy in history. Greatest in history. Under Biden, real incomes have gone down by $7,400 per family. Think of that. Under President Trump, yearly income went up by more than $6,000. That's a record, more than $6,000. Think of that. And all of this horror, and yet Joe Biden is traveling around the country pretending he's an economic genius. In fact, he's actually an economic arsonist, and Bidenomics is incinerating American wealth at a level never seen before. It's an inferno of inflation, taxation, submission, and failure. We submit. Everyone says, what is submission? You're submitting to China. You're submitting to all these countries. We're pouring money out of our country. We can't take care of our own country. We can't help Hawaii. But we send billions and billions and billions of dollars to other countries. The choice in this election is between a Biden economic bust, and it's going to happen, and it's going to be ugly, or a Trump economic boom. We had it booming like never before. This was the most successful economy in world history. We had the most successful. Everybody was happy. African Americans, Asian Americans, Hispanic Americans, men, women, people with degrees from the Great Wharton School of Finance, from Harvard, from MIT, people with no degrees at all. Everybody had jobs. Everybody was happy. Now you're giving phony numbers because far fewer people are looking for jobs. So they throw around, although it just went up, but they throw around 3.5, 3.6, 3.7%. But it's a different group of people. They're looking for jobs, but many of them aren't looking for jobs. So it's a fake number. Crooked Joe cares only about enriching his own family. I care about enriching your family. And something that, again, this is like an evening of firsts, but something which I proudly state, that I'm the only president that ever lost money while serving in office, and I knew that would happen. I didn't know it was going to be that much. That's a lot. I lost a number of millions. But I knew it was part of the game, and that's what I intended. I didn't intend. I could have made a fortune. Oh, I could have gone to these countries and made deals. You know, I put things in trust. I said, my kids are going to run it. I said, don't do deals outside of the country. Don't do this. Don't. They were going, Dad, can we do something? They said, no, you know, I'm president. We have a higher standard. And then I come out and I watch this Biden stuff with, they go to make deals with countries that it's just the craziest thing I've ever seen. And I got to give credit to Jim Jordan and Jamie Comer and all of these guys because they found things that nobody thought could be found. But it cost me billions of dollars, and it's been worth every single penny of it. Because I'm working for you. I'm not working for me. That I can tell you. I could have made so much. I could have. Sir, we'd love to do a deal in Saudi Arabia. Sir, we'd love to do a deal here and there. We'd love to do a deal. I really can't do that. I'm president. Biden would do it. So we just, we did it right. We did the right thing. And I do it exactly that way again. I will do it that way again. Look, we have a very short period of time. We'll do it that way. I even gave away my salary. Does anybody say that I gave away my salary? No. They used to call every month, did you give it away this month to people? Yeah. And you know, you have to give it to various agencies, actually. Did you give it away? If I ever said no, it would have been, when I say yes, yes, we did, yes, we did. I never read anything about it. If we would have said no, we didn't, it would be headlines. Headlines. But it was an honor. It was all an honor. If you want the Bidens to make millions selling out America to China, Russia, Ukraine, while your savings go up in flames, and that's what's happened, how are your 401ks doing, you know, as an example? Then vote for Crooked Joe. He's Crooked Joe. You know, we used to call him Sleepy Joe, but I think Crooked Joe is a better name. Crooked Sleepy, Sleepy Crooked. No, I think it's better. It's more appropriate. If you want better jobs, higher wages, an affordable American dream, then you must vote for your favorite president, Donald J. Trump. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I wish those cameras would turn around. You've heard me say this. It's very seldom. I go to arenas, and we sell out these arenas, and they're great. But I wish the cameras would show it. I wish they'd show it. It would actually be good for their ratings. It's a positive, not a negative. When I first started, we started in actually 2015, and it would go into an arena, it would be packed, and everybody was enthusiastic. By the way, never have we had the enthusiasm that we have now. Never. We've never had this enthusiasm. And we had record enthusiasm in 2016. In 2020, we had more. We did better in 2020 than we did in 2016. Got millions and millions more. But we've never had the enthusiasm that we have now. But I used to say early on, I'd say, it's a shame. I'd go home, and our great first lady would say to me, how are you, darling? I said, could I ask you, did you watch the speech? Yes. And she's tough, I'd say, how did I do? I didn't like your hair. Oh. I didn't like the way your hair looked. I said, oh, that's not good. But I said, how did the crowd look? Well, you couldn't tell except for the noise. The noise, it's obviously not 200 people shouting. Remember, Joey couldn't fill up the 8 circles, and then he supposedly won. The fake news would used to have to come. They'd come down and they'd fill in those 8 circles. But I'd say, how'd you like the crowd? Well, they never show the crowd, but I could tell it was a very big crowd by the it's like your great football team. It's like, you can tell. You could tell. Good. Now I'm going to get a good review tonight. That's good. But you know what? You could tell. It was big, but you say, no, they never show the crowd. And I figured that it's maybe the structure of the camera. It's on steel, tripods, and maybe you just can't turn it. And then we had a couple of embarrassing moments where people ended up fighting in a corner or something, and that camera turned around like a pretzel. They want to show that. So that was my theory. You couldn't do it because structurally, it's very stiff and you can't turn it. But boy, when those guys started fighting in the corner, which was a bad thing, when they started fighting in the corner, I've never seen a camera like that. They got every angle. So I realized that wasn't working. But they won't show. I would love it if the press would turn around the cameras and show this incredible. They don't do it. They don't do it. Did you see that? They don't do it. They won't do it. They won't do it because they're told not to do it. Because they want to make it look. They don't want to show crowds like this because nobody has ever gotten crowds like this. Nobody's ever gotten. It's not me. It's all of us. This is our movement. This isn't my movement. We're sick and tired of what's happened to our country. But they won't do it, even though it's sort of good for them. You show something that's so vibrant. Look at all the people standing over here. It's incredible. They just won't do it. I just said something. Would you please, I asked nicely, would you please turn around? You guys go crazy. Everybody up in the back, they're going crazy. Everyone's going crazy. Those cameras, I didn't see one of them even make an effort to turn around. That's why they call it fake news. That's why they call it fake news. I'm proud of a lot of things. You don't mind if I go off the teleprompter for a second, do you? Better than I thought. Now, we like when we go off the teleprompter, don't you, Craig? Remember at the beginning, I used to do it without teleprompters. I didn't know what to tell. I said teleprompter. But you have to, because when you go on the teleprompter too long, no matter how good you are, it's called the boring time. Boring. But we've had an incredible time with this country. We have such potential. And we speak so negatively, and it's so horrible to be telling you what happened, but you know what happened. Just like all you have to do is watch the newscast, which, by the way, if you look at ABC, CBS, NBC, you look at CNN, you look at MSDNC, which is, I think, the worst of all. I think they're horrible. What they say, they're evil. They're evil. They're really evil. And they're really a wing of the Democrat Party. I mean, they should be paying. Somebody should report that for campaign contributions because it's so bad. What they say is so nasty, so horrible. You don't want your family to watch it. How about me? I hear I'm going to be indicted. I said, indicted? I never learned about that at the Wharton School. Indicted? You're going to be indicted? How about me? I have to go see my wife. Darling, may I talk to you for a moment? Yes. I'm going to be indicted for no reason whatsoever on Friday. And then that happens. Oh, it's traumatic. You call your daughters, you call your sons, and you say this, and it's a terrible thing. And then I hear a couple of weeks later, I'm going to be indicted for something else, then for something else, then for something else. And now they're saying, don't indict him anymore because they lost credibility. But how about that? You go 4 times to tell your kids. And even the lawsuits, it's all inspired. All inspired. These are sick people. These are people that are actually sick. I mean, and they're just destroying our country. And if we don't take it back, in 24, I really believe we're not going to have a country left. There's not going to be anything left. And you see it less because, you're here in this great state. And I heard Christy use that term flyover, but it's flyover and everybody admires you when they're looking down. They'd like to be here with you because they know what's happening on the West Coast and they know what's happening on the East Coast. And it's not pretty. So the people that are smart, they say, there's no more flyover. We're coming right here to South Dakota or other places. I mean, you don't see what's going on other than the news, and the news really covers it up. They don't show the main networks. They don't show what's going on the border. It's peanuts. What they show is nothing compared to the facts. This is an invasion and a destruction of our country, and they don't want to show it because they want that crooked guy to be reelected if he makes it to the starting gate. I don't know if he's going. And I used to treat him with a modicum of respect because I have respect for the office of the presidency, and I would never talk the way I talk now. But when they indicted me for nothing, for free speech, I said the election was rigged and stolen, which it was, and everybody knows that. Everybody knows it. Free speech. But I used to say, and we're political opponents, but he actually did this to an opponent, a political opponent. Nobody would ever think it's possible. It wasn't really possible, even psychologically possible. He did this to an opponent. But when you think about it, I never said bad stuff. Now I say he's the worst president in the history of our country. He's the most corrupt president in the history of our country. And as other foreign leaders say, and as I say, he is grossly incompetent, and he's very dangerous because he has no idea what he's doing. He can't put two sentences together. And we're playing with nuclear weapons with other countries, and he has no clue what the hell is going on. So I would never have said that out of respect for the office. Not for him, but for the office. But now that they've weaponized the Department of Justice, now that it's been weaponized, now that the FBI came out with, you saw that, with Twitter. They call it Twitter files. And the things they've done are so bad. They're so evil. With all of the different things that have taken place, and with all of the corruption that you're witnessing on a nightly basis, and you don't have to watch. A great thing about the internet, a lot of it's really bad, but you get to see what's happening.